Dearest noble ones, today I'm taking you to one of the deepest circles of hell, Reddit. But I occasionally check them out. Why? Simply because I want to see if there is an opportunity for me to make content and then monetize it. But here's the thing. Generally speaking, I ignore it because it's just nonsense. It's just people that, like me and you, we work for a living. These people, they hate for a living. It is what it is. And regardless, the majority of the critiques wouldn't even allow for any sort of real dialogue. I'll be honest with you. I actually look to see if there is someone who doesn't lie and simply shares a real, honest, transparent concern without all the accusations, without the name calling, because if there was, I would actually be more than happy to have a conversation and explain my point of view to someone who's willing to listen. But I mean, anyways, the reason why I didn't ignore it today is because this is full mask off and you've got to see it. I think when it comes to actual numbers, 99.9% of my haters on Reddit are clearly radicalized, entrenched left-wingers, like of the worst kind. Not like the nice left-wingers that are subscribed to my channel, as well as the right-wingers, centrist and apolitical people. It's a very diverse, dare I say, channel here when it comes to political takes and geography. No, I'm not talking about the nice ones. I'm talking about the awful ones. And that's a key component. I want to do a little test now. Please don't cheat. Write in the comments, what do you think is their line of attack against me? What do you think? Could be, I don't know, fascist. Could be that I'm a Nazi, I'm racist, a far-right grifter. You guess it right now in the comments. You're never going to guess it. You're never going to guess it. I'll give you 5 seconds, then we'll jump into it. What is the one line of attack? The one thing that they decided to make fun of? Is it my politics? Is it my views? My Christian faith? My being white? Keep in mind, these are leftists. You ready? All right, let's go. Immediate says, damn, he really is blaming everyone on the left for the actions of a single guy. He went really crazy. Already a straw man. I always specify radicalized left-wingers. Of course, I don't blame everything. My cousin is a left-winger. You imbecile. Anyways, let's continue. Check this out, Mountain. I'm starting to think he secretly had a crush on Charlie and is now heartbroken and mad with grief at his would-be lover's untimely demise. Ladies and gentlemen, left-wing Redditor's line of attack, an insult against me, is that I'm gay? Never a greater mask-off has ever happened in the history of politics. Being gay is something to be laughed at. Let's say that let's say you're right. I'm a closeted homosexual. I'm gay secretly, right? I married a wife, maybe I'm bi, I don't know, whatever the heck. And I was in love. I was in love with Charlie Kirk. I really liked him because I'm gay. That's something to make fun of. That's what being liberal, progressive, inclusive, pro-LGBTQ plus means. That's your line of offense. To mock me being gay and in love with another man. And I'm the homophobe. One more thing to say is also how interestingly it is that to people like this, me being, and all of you, by the way, being upset by seeing a man assassinated in cold blood as he was exercising his free speech, a good man with ideas that some of us agreed with, disagreed with, maybe it was a mix, a father, a young man compared to me, his neck exploding for everyone to see, blood everywhere, his children fatherless, his wife grieving. All those people, apart from those that were happy about it, the normal people traumatized by the experience, all the suffering. And the only way you, Mountain, can explain in your head why would Metatron be so upset about this is being sexually attracted by him? Blajamer says, normally I would say that's ridiculous, yet the death of one person has such a profound impact that it rewired him to a bubbling insult, flinging child. I honestly think maybe he did have a crush, and they keep on going like this. Of course you find everything else. Obviously I'm a fascist, I'm a monster, I'm disgusting, I'm crazy, I'm far right. You find all the usual. But man, I did not expect being gay would have been the one thing. And I'd like to underline once again, This is important. This is important, right? Because this is a matter of decency at this point. I made over 2,000 videos in 12 years. Yeah, I've attacked LGBTQ plus activists a lot. I've debunked their nonsense. I've shared my positions coming from a Christian perspective. I have never said, even once, a disparaging word against gay people. You'll never find it. Because I never said any. There are ways to check, by the way. There are websites that allow you to check exactly my transcripts of all my videos, and it does it for you. It's a machine. You don't even have to go and watch 2,000 videos. Find one place in the entirety of my archive online where I used derogatory language against homosexuals, that I attacked directly in a dehumanizing way transgender people, women, lesbians. Find it. In fact, black people, you'll never find it. But where do you find mockery of being gay? Among my pro-LGBTQ haters. Isn't that an enormous revelation of who was decent and who was not? Let's talk about facts. What does Smiley tell us? Let's see these facts from my haters. Especially since all mass shootings come from the right. Hell, the only reason that guy shot Charlie was his conservative upbringing. How do you manage to get two lies in 21 words? So in 21 words, two lies. Lie number one, all mass shootings come from the right. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. I'm happy to review the data properly because, yes, of course, there are, particularly if you go back to like the 90s, then yeah, absolutely. There is like the, the Oklahoma one, the one with the two white nationalists got into a car and exploded an entire building. Yeah, of course. We have to add those. With that being said, I'm more than happy to look at the data because, of course, right-wing political violence is also a thing, although then again, a lot of it gets misrepresented by those who do create these lists because basically they just use it in order to bump it up. They will add crimes that aren't politically related simply because someone votes for a particular party doesn't mean that the crime was politically motivated. Problem number one within any data assessment. And problem number two is the fact that people will join in all violent crimes, and one thing is breaking a window because it has a rainbow flag and one thing is shooting someone in the neck. So we should create some kind of, you know what I'm saying? And I'm happy to make that video because, of course, I'm never going to deny that acts of right-wing extremist violence exist. I don't do that. I just say that right now, since the one sitting president that was almost assassinated happens to be the conservative one, and Charlie Kirk was very recently assassinated, I'm going to talk about Charlie Kirk. That's how it is. But these people, look, that's a lie. And also, the fact that the guy shot Charlie because of his conservative upbringing is ridiculous. It's fantasy land. These are my haters. This is the level of counter-arguments that we're having to deal with. Do you see why I don't engage with these people? And I never will. I wonder if Metatron had ever even heard about Kirk before the shooting. Just because I don't make a video about someone, it doesn't mean that I didn't know who he... So anyways, I'm responding to you. Since you didn't insult me, I'll treat you nicely, Cassetti. Like, he wasn't the guy that I watched the most, but we used to watch him, yes. I for sure had not. The man was important as Chicago's weather forecast for an average European. I live in America, what are you on about? My friend Salvo back home in Sicily knew Charlie Kirk and went on a crusade just like me after the assassination. Once again, Charlie Kirk happened to me. No, Metatron, it happened to Charlie Kirk. You're a history YouTuber. If I'm just a history YouTuber and I don't have a similar type of haters as Charlie did, as Asmongold does, as Tectone does, then can you explain to me why there are a million subreddits all about how much of a fascist and a racist I am? Now, I think me and Charlie Kirk shared a lot of overlap when it comes to our haters. So yeah, what is this guy saying? Wait. So this is what it looks like when the Metatron spread his wings, okay? Annie Farmer says an angel only spreading his right wing is doomed to fall down in a circular fashion. You know what? That one is actually pretty based. I like that one. I loved that one. What's your name? Annie Farmer 1335. Based. Love it. Yeah, one-winged angel like Sephiroth. Yeah, that was a pretty good one. I'll give him that. Now, obviously, one of the things I did say was, I don't know about I'm feeling, I don't remember saying that, monsters cheer for the death of a father. Yeah, exactly. The people that were cheering, I called them monster. Yeah, double down. And he says, obligatory reminder, Charlie Kirk and his fans are the exact same people who made mockery of political violence when it happened to left-wingers. Here's the thing. Who do you think is going to mention? You ready? In 3, 2, 1, and boom! Here we go. Pelosi husband. Man, every single time, Nancy Pelosi's husband. And you know what's funny? Once again, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Google it. Both on X and on my live stream, and I have on my videos, 3 platforms. I have complained about those who laughed at Nancy Pelosi's husband and what happened to him. But they don't check. They just believe someone will say it. He complained about Charlie Kirk, but he said nothing about Nancy Pelosi. Not true, but he doesn't check. And everyone here, since they are all here having a great time, by the way. And I mean, who am I to judge if they're having a great time? Because the thing is that when I imagine them, they're like full of hatred and poison. That's like, goodness gracious, man. But if some of them are actually having a good time, they're good for them. I have no problems with that. Please, have fun. But the thing is that they don't check. I condemned people laughing at Nancy Pelosi's, including when Trump made a few statements about it. I think they were out of place. Absolutely. Thing is, though, Nancy Pelosi's husband did not die. Also, it was not an act of right-wing political violence. If a right-wing extremist went into Nancy Pelosi's house and hit her husband with a hammer saying, "Catch this, communist," that's different, isn't it? That would be more and then the husband died and this was broadcast, then would be more comparable. Was it still an awful thing? Absolutely. But it was a private matter. So the fact that some right-wingers laughed about that, that's wrong. I condemn them. Absolutely. Obviously. But they don't. They just say, oh, he never says anything. What's the next one? Come on. Then we have the typical question. Why is he so involved in American politics? Because I live in America. I'm getting American citizenship and my wife is American. So I do care very much. Making sure that my children can live in a country that is safer. So there is that. But this because he's a fascist. I wish they were a little more imaginative. What about this one? The moment they install the RGB lights, you know there is a shift. Oh, come on. Give me a break. This looks awesome. Are you joking? This is so good. What are you on about? I keep look at the one behind me, for instance. Look at that beauty. I don't know what you're on about. Not to mention, some of these are neons. Oh, yeah, this one. Check this out. This is the guy complaining. Dragon Guard 666. Dragon Guard is kind of a cool name, but 666, man. But maybe it is appropriate. The 1 minute silence highlighting Metatron's blatant lie that Kirk was compassionate to trans people and he wasn't a transphobe was the standout part of the video for me. And Ruff agrees and says, it's just such an obvious lie. If you take 10 seconds to look into what Kirk said. Yeah. Let's take 10 seconds, shall we? I prepared it for you, the 10 seconds. Let's do it. Let's see this transphobe Charlie Kirk. Let's go.
Say I'm a transgender male. What age should kids be able to get things like hormone therapy? Because I don't know what's true, what's not.
Tell me, are you comfortable telling me your story?
I've known that since like 3rd grade, and I'm currently 19, almost 20. I've known basically since then. I didn't start going by like a different name until 7th and 8th grade. I just don't know, like, with the whole medical stuff, like what's true, what's not, what's helpful, because I've heard so many different opinions.
First of all, thank you so much for that.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm going to have an opinion that very few people will ever tell you, which is I want you to be very cautious putting drugs into your system in the pursuit of changing your body. I instead encourage you to work on what's going on in your brain first. I think what you need first and foremost is just a diagnosis. Just someone that is going to listen to what you've gone through, listen to what else is going on. My prayer for you, and again, very few people will say this, I actually want to see you be comfortable in how you were born.
Yeah.
I know that you might not feel that way, but I think that is something that you can achieve. I think that with the right team and the right people, you don't have to wage war on your body. You can learn to love your body.
If you, once again, if you're a left-wing fan of mine, does that sound like a transphobe to you? Or have you been lied to? Because I have plenty of clips like this, because I'm putting them together. Taking some time, but I have a lot of clips like this. I'm going to show you another one, but was he a homophobe? So maybe he was compassionate and understanding towards transgender people, even though he disagreed with their life choices. And he showed compassion and made sure that the guy didn't feel like he was being shamed or attacked or ridiculed. But what about gay people? Maybe he hates homosexuals. Let me see.
I'm a gay conservative, and I just want to kind of ask you, like, what do you have to say for people like me who kind of feel like, I guess, it's kind of hard for gay conservatives because there's not a lot of us. So, like, what do you have to say to other gay people who need to realize, like, they do have a choice?
Yeah, first of all, welcome to the conservative movement. I don't think you should introduce yourself just based on your sexual attractions.
No, I agree. I like
because that's not who you are.
I like to be thought of as a person, and
for sure, you are a complete human being, and I'm sure you treat people well, and you're studying something. So I want to get away with this idea that you're gay anything. I just think that we have gone a long way in the negative direction in this country, where we act as if the most important part of your identity is what you do in the bedroom. It doesn't mean that much to me, but if you ask from a perspective as a Christian, I don't agree with that lifestyle, but politics is about addition and multiplication. I imagine you agree with a lot of what we talk about.
Absolutely.
Right? Strong borders, strong country, and for that, we welcome you into the conservative movement.
So this is supposed to be, we have to believe that this is a sign of homophobia, transphobia, bigotry, hatred. Instead, the tolerant people are the ones that use being gay as a mocking point against me. Do you see why some like us have become so activated during this entire discussion? Can you start to see the perspective of the truth? I know that for some of you, this is going to be a revelation. I know. Subscribe. And then, by the way, they are of course here laughing. Look at all the laughing because Starbucks is in trouble because they won't allow Charlie Kirk as a name. Ha ha ha! It's really funny, isn't it? Yeah, it's hilarious. Absolutely funny. You have no idea the stuff that is in here. I'm just showing you the stuff that is like about me. I'm not showing you the stuff about Charlie Kirk. You don't want to see it. I'll be honest with you. You don't want to see it. Because, of course, it's all I do. I speak about black Egyptians because of alt-right rage, not because I collaborated with a classicist former archaeologist with 2 years of experience digging in Syria and with a expert Egyptologist PhD. And we all three got together. We added an anthropologist, postdoctoral degree, and we studied, prepared, and found that the evidence pointed against what the Afrocentric community was saying, and we made a video about it. But no, it's alt-right pandering, apparently. I understand it's a coping mechanism. I do, because I have to be the enemy. I have to be the villain, because it's impossible. If I'm a decent person, and Charlie was a decent person, then that's going to rock your world, isn't it? But maybe needs to be rocked if what you've been fed are lies, and the people you've been told that were evil were decent all along. And the evil people were the ones that you were together because you thought that they were tolerant. That's the reality. And the only people that I'm a little sorry because I don't care about the haters. I'm just having fun here. In this case, they should. If they say, oh, Metatron made this video for money, it's one of the reasons, yeah. And I enjoy making money off of hatred and transforming it. I'm an alchemist like that, turning lead into gold. With that being said, the other reason is because I want you to see, and it's for people like this, Alpha00, who says, I'm more sad about Metatron. Shad was always leaning right, and even created second channel for his stakes, but Metatron surprised me. But I feel you really, they were part of my life for years. It's people like this that I'm sorry about, because the haters, they know they are lying, they know these are lies about us, but they rejoice when this happens. I'll probably make another video dedicated to it, but there is a subreddit dedicated to seeing how many people unsubscribe from me, and they are there cheering every single time a single digit goes down, and they post the screenshots. In fact, guys, if you think that's sickening, because it is, please subscribe. How about we make them mad, destroy their entire day? But yeah, it is what it is. It's really what I wanted to show you because that's the situation. And then there is a whole grifter. He's doing it for the money. Oh, and also they complain that I like shoe on heads content. See, shoe on head is saving humanity. They laugh because they have a problem with shoe on head too, even though she's clearly left-wing on a lot of issues. They hate her as well. And in fact, there are people here that speculate and say that I have a thing, that I'm like cheating on my wife with shoe on head, by the way. So it's ridiculous. It's like they make it all up, and it doesn't matter because these people were never about truth, logics, reason, decency, reality, attacking the argument, not the person. No, and these are the same, but we shouldn't surprise us. I say let them do it, who cares? Because these are the same people that laughed at Charlie's death, that danced on his grave, which means that there is no reason for me to sit down and say, hey, how about we have a conversation, man to man, all right? A discourse, no attacks. I'm not going to insult you, you're not going to insult me. We're just going to sit. You explain to me what's wrong, what you think is wrong, and then I'll be more than happy to explain to you where I'm coming from, what I mean when I say certain things. And at the end of the day, if this happened, the reason why they would never do that with me, it's whether it be a massive YouTuber or whether it be like someone like Freda, for instance, or someone, whatever the heck, whoever it is that makes all these videos, even the Afrocentrists. Yeah, this is an invitation. How about we sit down? We have a normal, not even a debate. I'm not a debater. Neither are you, most likely. So why don't we just have a conversation like decent people? Again, I prepare my coffee, you prepare your coffee, we're having a coffee together. More than happy. And the reality is that a lot of these people will tell me, yeah, but you said like there were people here that they were literally making things up. Oh, but you said this about, you said that women, there's one guy who said that I said that women are so weak they can't lift swords. I never said that. I never said it. In fact, I've got entire series of women warriors in history. So they would tell me, like, why did you say that? Do you really think that women... I'm like, I never said it. Where did I say it? And then I will ask them, point me, and they will say, no, I heard that you said it years ago. And I'm like, no, I never said it. And then I take them to that website where we can look it up so they don't have to believe me. And I think what's going to happen is that at the end of such a discussion, they're going to tell me, you know what, man, you're completely different to what I thought you were. I thought you were like this kind of alt-right, far-right, crazy extremist monster grifter that hated women, hated black people, hated everyone, hated gays. And then the reality is, no, we have different politics, we have different ideas when it comes to border control, I imagine, economy, religion perhaps, but it was all false. They would realize it, which is why they would never do it, because they don't care about that. It would be an entire monumental waste of time. But to the people that are like, you know, I'm confused because you guys say all of this about him and that's crazy. I didn't think that. Yeah, I would speak to those. I would speak to the concerned fans. Absolutely. Totally. Because they are asking. Well, they are believing the nonsense, and I wish you guys did your research. That's the only thing I say to the disappointed fans. Because I do care about you. With that being said, yeah, no, I wish, like, you asked the question, that's fine. But I would say, just do your... see what they answer and then double check. Don't just believe it. Because, I mean, look at it. They say that I made a whole video debunking brown Jesus. I knew it was a racist years ago, but people keep telling me, no, he's just trying to be historically accurate. Yeah. Watch the video. It's recent. You'll see it among the last few uploads. Just find it. Was Jesus black? It's a very recent video. Watch it and until the end and see if that's what the video is. Me debunking brown Jesus and pushing racism. You'll see it at the very beginning that it's not. And I'm just looking at what the actual Greek text says. But it is what it is. I'm not here to try and convince the haters. I know they hate me anyways. But I'm here to first monetize all this nonsense. And second, I just needed to show you guys the one line of attack from the people that say that Charlie Kirk was an awful bigot and deserved it because he was homophobe and hated gay and trans people, was to laugh at the fact that maybe I'm a closeted gay. And I was in love with him. Congratulations on that. You showed us your true colors, and they ain't rainbow.